empathetic to those who were marginalized even more. She decided to work at Hull House, a Chicago settlement house created by Jane Addams that offered basic services to immigrants and the poor. Other people, however, had no such sympathy for the workers making American progress happen. If health mattered, scale and profit mattered more. A growing number of capitalists and industrialists simply wanted to innovate solutions and get rich in the process. This was the spirit driving progress in oil, steelmaking, railroads, and food production. But nowhere was it more present than in the making of cars, which promised to change everything about American life. Thomas Midgley embodied this American spirit, a sense of possibility and a willingness to pursue a goal at any cost. I won't spoil your introduction to Midge, except to say that he was a driven and brilliant inventor who decided early in life that he wanted to change the world. Undoubtedly, he succeeded. Sometimes the cost of innovation is small, and sometimes, as you'll see in this story, it's big. The cost is also personal. I'm sheepish to admit that even though I teach environmental science, it took becoming a dad before I considered how personal pollution can be. Part of that is privilege. I never had to grow up next to railroad tracks or on a busy street. Working on this book made me sensitive to the micropoisons all around us, in our carpeting, our water, the plastic toys our kids put in their mouths. Even though governments make sweeping guarantees for things like clean water and safe medicines, the reality can be flimsier. Scratch below the surface, and it becomes clear that the mechanisms to protect us from the things that will make us sick have blind spots, especially when driven by the incentives of capitalism. This is not a sad story. It's a shocking one, I'll grant, but ultimately it's a story of two incredible Americans and their fight to build conflicting worlds. It's also a story about how change starts and progress happens, how a transformative invention came into the world, and how a pioneering woman started a movement to fight it for a century to follow. Where that leaves us now? Well, let's catch up at the end, and we can all take a guess. Daniel Stone, Santa Barbara, California. Part 1. The Side Door. Chapter 1. Cambridge, Massachusetts, 1919. For as long as America had existed, one of the country's top centers of knowledge and science circled a large patch of grass 2 miles west of Boston. America's first university had begun here in 1636 as a school named for a Puritan clergyman who donated half of his life savings and 400 books to start a college in the new colony in the Massachusetts Bay. In the 3 centuries since its founding, Harvard University had expanded in size and space and grown John Harvard's initial endowment to almost $10 million. But the patch of grass remained, now with walking paths and black iron benches, all surrounded by large buildings, where the finest professors gave the finest lectures to the finest students, all of them men. Alice Hamilton sat on a bench on the morning of March 15, 1919, amid snow flurries, looking at the burned crater of Dane Hall, a building in the center of campus that had been destroyed in a spectacular fire the year prior. She had just come from a meeting with the dean of Harvard's medical school, David Edsall, who outside of his dean capacity happened to be an expert in the effects of extreme heat in enclosed spaces. Hamilton's meeting with Edsall was the final step in a long-running conversation that took place by typewritten letters that shuttled between Cambridge and Chicago, where Hamilton lived. The discussion in these letters was timid and non-committal, at least at first, because it was about something no dean at Harvard had ever thought about, much less acted upon. Edsall wanted to recruit Hamilton to join the faculty of Harvard. If Edsall was successful, Hamilton would be the first woman ever considered for the faculty ranks. Hamilton sat quietly watching male students walk in and out of the buildings. She was short, 5'4", with light brown hair parted down the middle.